Whoa, relax. Take the Chelsea fan.
What's going on, people? Welcome to DR Sports and welcome to another episode, another video of the weekend preview. Welcome to the show, welcome to the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to DR Sports if you haven't done so already, and make sure you smash a like on a video straight away, because look at the team that we've got, look at the panel that we've got. We've got a smiling Matisse who's smiling like he's just won the Carabao Cup. He's smiling like he's just secured champion. He's a big, massive smile.
It's a good day. What? I don't know what you mean. Something happened last night?
Flex is coming with the spite today,
Something
lads. You
happened
feel this?
last night? I don't know.
If I'm suffering, everybody's gonna suffer.
100%. I've got to try and bring down people. Now, do you know what? We'll get to that later. We've got a placid James.
I'm just happy I'm here.
Okay.
Like, it's good to chat football.
I saw your tweet. You said you are annoyed that you went out. We'll talk about that. But we have James from AFTV. Big up to you. We've got always smiling Abby, because she's just on top of the world. There's nothing to not smile about.
Looking down on Croatia.
Looking down on Croatia. Yeah, exactly. And another smiling person, Doyle. Just yeah. And then there's me. Big up. And then there's you guys at home as well. So
can I just add to this, right? Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Why are none of you in your shirt colours? Why?
We never actually wear them on the show. Yeah.
That was something that was said on the brief.
You should. You're not doing it because you're scared your team's going to fall down. You're not doing it because your team, and you're not doing it, lads.
I always have
£1 billion and you're like, let's lose it, lads, with all the gadgets and no superpowers. So, Flex.
Oh no.
What is it? Has he brought props?
He had props.
I hope this plan just
Here's one I made out.
fails.
It's an art attack.
Here you go, lad. That's for you.
Oh my days.
Rep it with
Where'd you get that from?
Found it, lad, on the
You know
floor.
what?
Found it in the bin outside, lad.
Back
Put
in
that
the-
on, lads.
back in
Oh
the day.
no.
It was a proper
Get me sponsored by Nike again. Get Aeon on the front of the shirts again, please. Who's on the back?
That's like Wayne
Ryan
Rooney
Giggs. Listen.
peak, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Collars up.
What's the back? Is anybody
It's
on the
Ryan
back?
Giggs.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Listen.
Giggsy.
Sorry, I had to do that, lads. I've come repping my shirt,
That's
and
not
only
nice.
me and James are there with the.
To be
with
fair,
the
we never
Yeah, but I've kind of
actually do it.
disguised it. You can't.
No, we
really
don't. That was
see
on the
the
brief at the
Arsenal.
beginning when we first started here.
We never do it.
But we have
Sorry,
got a
but-
jam-packed show for you guys. Remember that. And we have teamed up with Opta to get you involved with their new player ratings feature and their Opta Max and Opta 5 games. As part of this, we're going head-to-head on DR playing Opta Max, and you guys can get involved. And here's how: where you have to correctly predict the player of the match, okay, for 5 games on the weekend's Premier League games. And this week's fixtures are Fulham versus Man United, Burnley versus Palace, Sheff United versus Wolves, Newcastle United versus Arsenal, and Nottingham Forest versus Villa. If you correctly predict the player of the match in all 5 games, then there is a huge cash prize that could be yours. This week, it's not $500. It's not $5,500.
Dollars.
It is $6,000, as AGT would love to do in his absence. That's what your guy does.
Sorry,
isn't it?
buddy.
It's just what he does.
I can't do
I
that
don't know why he
medical
does it, but it's $6,000. It's up for grabs, and if no one wins, it'll be rolled over and increased by $500 each time. Hence why we've gone from $5,500 to $6,000 this week. You accumulate points throughout the weeks, and the top 5 in the overall leaderboard at the end of the season will win the share of the $12,000 jackpot. So you don't want to miss this. The new Opta player rating is a score attributed to each player out of 100, which is calculated by an algorithm indicating how well the player has performed during the game. So the ratings range from 20 to 100, with 60 viewed as average, basically like a 6 out of 10, about average. And then where we at? That all you have to do, I forgot where I was. 60 is viewed as the average, and all you have to do is scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the video description to get involved with this. DR Sports subscribers as well, we want you to join up into the DR Sports League as well, and you can go up against us. We're inside it as well. It's free to play and open to all football fans globally. Doesn't matter where you are, you're not excluded from this. All you have to do is sign up. So please get involved. We've been doing it for a good couple of weeks now. It is good fun. It's not good fun when it's really difficult to get right and your team's on the wrong end of bad predictions, but it is good fun and it is good banter.
It's a good indicator, to be quite honest with you, right? Before the season started, I actually looked at Dominic Szoboszlai's stats with his Opta performance, and he was incredible. And I was like, who are we buying here? I don't even know much about this guy. Started his first game, lad, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It actually, it was a good indicator, to be fair to it, was.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Opta told you,
Trust
mate.
Opta.
Exactly, trust
Sign
Opta.
up,
Trust in
join us.
Opta. Exactly, as Abby said. Right, we're going to go through the Carabao Cup games from last night before we get to the weekend preview with some big games coming up. There's no other place to start than Old Trafford. There's no other place to start than Manchester United. There's no other place to start than Newcastle United's demolition with their C team of Man United.
You took the heat off
3-0.
us, you know. Like, that's the one thing.
Absolutely.
We had a bad
Absolutely.
result,
Yeah.
and then I saw the United result. I went,
We go, hold on, don't you not worry. We'll
We'll get to you.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like you said, we just went, nah, hold our beer. You know what? We'll make sure we're the
take the
shittest of this
headlines.
round.
Yeah,
Let's save the little blushes, any little
It's very
mini
kind of you.
AFTV meltdowns, all that stuff. What is Arteta doing? Nah, Man United will sort that out. Man United Football Club. I got no more words, mate. I think I'm where you were last year already, when you were just turning up here saying, I don't care, can't bother to go anymore, what's the point, there's no hope. That's actually how I feel, because what we're seeing is definitely the beginning of the end. It's been that for a little while. What we're seeing are the players have given up, they're not playing for the manager. We're seeing no tactics, no clear identity, no idea. Even, which I have realised now, even when we were racking up W's last year, which gives you confidence, we wasn't racking up sustainability. We wasn't racking up a style of play. We wasn't racking up that when the hard times come, you have routine and patterns to fall behind to get you out of the hole. It was instinct. It was Marcus Rashford in a purple patch, and it was
no
a
blueprint.
no blueprint to fall back on. Ten Hag's taken on some players as well, which he's had to do, which is collateral. But right now, he looks shell-shocked. He looks like the task is too big for him. He looks like he doesn't know what to do next. And more importantly, like I said, which always happens at Man United, the players have given up. They're not buying into what he's doing, and they look a absolute shell of themselves. And it doesn't matter who plays. That's another damning indictment as well. It goes from make sure you drop Rashford, make sure you drop Bruno, make sure you drop this player. This player's not good enough. That player's not good enough. Play the kids, rotate the team. It got to the point where before the game yesterday, I looked at the team. A lot of Man United fans looked at the team and went, "Do you know what? Yeah, I quite like that." And then you see the Newcastle team, and you go. And I even tweeted, I said, there is no excuses, none in capitals actually put, for not getting through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. And losing like that, obviously I stand by it. There are no excuses, I don't care. That is a Newcastle side that was heavily rotated. They got to manage big competitions as well. You got Kraft and Dummett, who haven't played. One of them ain't even played in over a year's worth of football. Like, it's pathetic. Then they have to... Eddie Howe said, get the game won and we'll bring on the good players. That's what he said. He said, get the game won with the C team, and then we'll give the senior players a run out. Absolutely pathetic. And Man United are going nowhere fast. And this is only going to end one way.
Is there an argument to be made that you didn't need this trophy because you won it last season and you probably got bigger fish to fry?
No, there's no argument for that. Because in your first season, would you like to win the Carabao Cup this year?
We haven't won a trophy.
Why would
in a
you
while,
like to win it?
Well, I feel like Poch needs it. I think the young group of players need it badly as well. We also have lost 5 Wembley finals in a row. No thanks to you guys.
2 of them from us.
So we desperately need a trophy for sure. And, Champions League qualification, unfortunately, isn't guaranteed these days. Yeah. So definitely need it.
I definitely stand by that. We look, you go to a final. I'm never going to say we should have gone to a final and it would have been better if we lost that day. I'm never going to say that. But I think the positivity that came from it, me included, I was part of it. You get gassed by it, and you think you're on the right trajectory, and then quickly you're not.
Well, I don't want to do revisionism on his first season, Ten Hag, because while I think there's fair questions over his style of play, people did this to Unai Emery at Arsenal. Like, everyone kind of reflects on Unai Emery's first, where you had a year and a half in the job, basically, or just under a year and a half. And everyone looks back at basically him being a disaster that whole time for Arsenal. He wasn't a disaster the whole time. That first season, granted, we fell away at the end, but he got us playing football quite quickly. He got us a point off top 4, which was a little bit of a shame to miss out, but he got us in that position, Europa League final. It could have been reflected on very differently. It was then the summer after where he got the signings wrong. Pepe was one of them. There's dispute as to who made those signings. And then it started badly. And I think Ten Hag's the same. I don't want to discredit his first season where he finished 3rd. People say lack of a style of play. Okay, but he did a Mourinho, got pragmatic in big games and got big points. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham all lost at Old Trafford last season. Away from home, you got battered. Okay, fine. That was bad. But to finish 3rd and win the Carabao Cup is a good first season. Was he instilling principles for the long term? No, maybe not. And I've got a lot of questions over the transfers and some of the signings you guys made. But for me, this very much went wrong. Okay, you can have the Glazer conversation, but it went wrong in the summer. Like when you signed Mason Mount to complement Bruno and Casemiro.
Yeah.
Every content creator, fan, everyone involved in talking about this signing knew that was never going to work. And now here you're trying to make Amrabat work. Is Hannibal the answer? Maybe McTominay is the number 10 you always needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it went wrong in the summer for me. And I think Ten Hag deserves to be torn apart for what he's done this start, particularly this season. But I don't want to do revisionism on last season. It's too much.
It's what he said though. The new manager bounce, and everyone wants to play and run the socks off. Now without that blueprint, you've seen it yesterday. Newcastle playing their C team. And they have that blueprint, so they still win the game because Eddie Howe is a tactician, lad. And I'm not saying Ten Hag isn't, and he hasn't been in his career, but it's not shown in his Man United career in his second season, without a doubt. It looks like the players aren't running even. It looks like they can't be bothered. You should be able to bring youngsters in and they do the exact same job that the starting 11 does. Maybe not to the same standard, but as close as they can get, lad. And it's just not like that.
What I don't understand is...
aren't doing it
what,
either.
Yeah, I don't know. No.
What I don't understand with him is he says he's not gonna try and replicate what he did at Ajax. First of all, that's what Manchester United fans and the Man United board, I assume, wanted from you. Is they've looked at your track record at Ajax, the way you've played, and they've said that's what we want. So then you said you're going to go back on that and you're going to give them something different because the players can't play that way. But you've brought in more than half of the players. Anthony's your player.
Martinez.
Mason Mount's your player. Martinez at the back is your player. Onana's your player. So it's like Amrabat, you've brought him in as well. So I'm like, why can't you bring in players that suits your style at Ajax to then play your style?
Well, also, it's a lot of money that he has spent. These are players that he's brought in because they were either from Ajax or they're players that he trusts. And it is crazy to me that you've got a manager sitting there saying, I can't implement the style of football I want to play with this team. It's not like you've had a tight transfer budget.
Yeah.
You've still gone and spent big money, 55 million on Mason Mount. We all looked around and said, it's a bit mad, to be honest.
I was happy.
Yeah, but also, £70 million on Højlund, and I do think Højlund is a talent. I think that he's very rough and he will be one for the future. But it does baffle me that when, for years we were talking about Kane going to United and you've already spent 70 on Højlund and you spent 55 on Mason Mount, well, why have you not even put an offer on the table for Harry Kane? Because we all sat here at the end of last season and said, you need a striker, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rashford is not the guy who is consistent enough outside of his purple patches. And I think it is really poor recruitment by Ten Hag and the board. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that have gone on at United, and we did praise him, just to touch on last season, the things he had to deal with, Ronaldo, and the constant issues that keep coming out at United. But I don't think that can take away from what you're actually seeing on the pitch. But at the end of the day, he's the one that picks the team. He's the one that sets the tactics. He's the one that they're looking to. And I also think, the exclusion of Jadon Sancho probably hasn't helped in terms of team morale, what you see in the dressing room. I'm sure there's lots of different factions going on in there. And I think that it's very clear to see you have lost the dressing room because the minute they're not running for you, the minute you can see they don't really care, you know that your time is up.
Yeah, when the media start doing this, so when before Ten Hag come, we're saying, right, we know there's going to be rough periods. You know what it's like with Man United, the spotlight's so high. So when the rough periods come, we know the media are going to start saying things. Let's all stay together. We know it's going to come. But now we're actually in it. The problem is that there's no evidence to suggest that this goes any other way. Do you know what I mean? You want to get behind your team and say, let's stay united, let's stay harmonious, because don't let the media write that. Even today, some people like Samuel Luckhurst and Manchester Evening News were saying that it's now started to happen. Players are resenting each other. There's little pockets, like you said, there's little factions going on. But Jose Mourinho never got to turn around to the media's face and laugh and say, see, my dressing room wasn't broken, you was lying. He went. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer never got to say that. You were lying. Look, I won the league. How could my dressing room be fractured? I won the league. Look, no, you're lying. And the same thing's going to happen to Erik Ten Hag, because what we have seen is, although he has brought in a lot of players, so that's on him where they're not working, that's his side. You've then got the other players who have been there through 3 managers. And when it doesn't go right, they down tools.
I have to say, you know how you said you feel how I felt last season?
Yeah.
I completely understand it, and I'm glad maybe you haven't felt what I
Look
felt
how
last
happy you
season.
are.
No, because you all, like I said, you all laughed at me, but it's a very, very difficult time, and it is, depressing as fuck when you have to go and watch that week in, week out, on top of life in general. Football should be your outlet and it's your happy place. It doesn't need to add more stress to it. And I think that, from seeing what happened with Spurs, we had a lot of players there that had been there for a very long time, still being utilised, the Dyers of the world, Lloris's, all those players that weren't really pulling their weight and weren't doing anything, and you add Conte to the mix and they're not doing anything even more. So now you see, yes, we've still got some of the same personnel who might have not performed last season, but he has rooted out the players that 3-4 managers ago were there under Poch, let
Still
him
there,
down, let
yeah.
Jose down. All right, Nuno in between that, and then Conte.
Even if he didn't sell them, they're just there. Like
they're
rotting
not
away
at
on
the
the side, they're
forefront.
just not part of it.
And
Yeah.
he has wiped the slate clean, and he said, I'm building a new spine, because I still think the spine of your team is the most important thing. And I think that also when you have Bruno Fernandes as your captain in that spine, this is not to say Bruno's not a good player. He is a good player. We know what he can do. But he is not a leader. He is not a captain for me. And I said it about Spurs last season. When you don't have a leader in that side, it really, really suffers because everyone passes the buck. You don't have a leader in your side.
But there is
There's no one to give the armband to, is there?
Absolutely no one. Look, listen, the captaincy's just come off Maguire, and rightly so. Do we all agree around this table that Harry Maguire's not Man United captain?
Yeah.
So who was the most likely at that time? It was Bruno. He was the one who was doing something. He was the one that everybody seemed to like.
Not a leader.
And he was exactly. I get that, but in the time when Harry Maguire was the captain. Especially when I've been around it, I can see he's the one taking time out with the fans. He's the one facing the media. He's the one who's taking the onus. Like, he was the closest thing to it. If Eric Ten Hag took it off him right now, one, he looked like an absolute idiot because you just gave it to him, and two, you can't give it to Onana. Just come here, eccentric.
No.
You can't give it to Dalot. You can't give it to Luke Shaw. You can't give it to
Rashford.
You can't give it back to Maguire. There's no.
But they're not fit. But during the summer, you knew you didn't really have a leader in that side, and I will equally say the same for Arsenal, who you went and you hadn't really got someone who was gonna take the game by the scruff of the neck and to get you over the line. I think Declan Rice is that for you, whether or not he's not your captain, but you have characters that are able to do that.
Yeah.
I look at United and I felt that in the summer. I'm not impressed with your transfer window. I still haven't seen anyone that is willing there to get their hands dirty and do that for the badge, for this club. And I think that's something that should have been addressed in the summer. Bruno Fernandes is not that guy. When the going gets tough, as you see, he throws his arms up in the air and blames everyone else. That's not a captain.
Yeah.
You didn't address that in the summer.
No, because again, like you said, we've destroyed it through the summer, and the types of players that we've brought in, they've got no chance of getting into anybody that we're trying to be better than or compete with, and that's the biggest problem. Like, it's as factual as that. But this is why that isn't just an easy argument, because if when Spurs bought Mickey van der Ven, and not many people know much about him, you didn't know much about him, then you look at him, and now it's like he could be, if you was to make a combined 11 or something, you're going to put him to the forefront.
But equally, you still could have called on probably Romero to be a leader in that dressing room. Did I think that Son was the right option for captaincy? Probably not, but he is, because he is so personable with everyone and everyone likes him and he uplifts people. That's a different option. If I could sit here and say that Bruno Fernandes was that guy that uplifts the whole squad, then we'd be talking like that, but he doesn't do that. Yeah. Equally, you've got someone that Romero, despite having a poor season last year, playing next to Eric Dyer, he's still a leader. You see what he offers.
Dog in him,
he has got that dog in him. You see what he offers for on an international level for Argentina. So for me, I don't look at Bruno and think that he has the ability to lift others.
No, he doesn't.
And it's not just Bruno though. One of the players can stop getting away with it. Look, for what it's worth, I think Ten Hag's had more than enough resources and enough time to implement something that looks like a philosophy. I agree. Those quotes about I didn't come here to play the Ajax way, I think are a bit of a disgrace, to be honest. But when are the players going to stop getting away with it? Because I see this cycle. Ten Hag loses his job in the next month or two, maybe, if results continue. Someone else comes in. Bruno starts looking quite good.
Exactly.
Rashford goes on a patch.
That's what's going to happen.
And what's going to happen? But also United fans, and I understand, but they're going to rate these players to a level. Like, United fans were shocked that Rashford was left off the Ballon d'Or list. Purple patches, Bruno Fernandes, not doing it in big games, but there's so many of them. I saw a comp doing the rounds on social media. Harry Maguire's best moments against Sheffield United. When I understand Ten Hag's the problem, I'm not trying to absolve Ten Hag of blame and criticism. But sometimes, and I don't want to do the whole Arsenal did this, Arsenal did that, Arsenal had their problems last night, we'll talk about them. But when we couldn't move players on, they were writing off checks. They were tearing up contracts.
It's collateral, just get rid of it.
It's just,
exactly.
Because and Edu described it as just a long-term investment. Like, we're spending the money to tear up their contracts because long-term we'll be better for it. When were they going to start tearing apart this squad and going, under 3-4 managers, you lot have been a disgrace.
Anthony Martial.
We need to move you on.
Anthony Martial
That's a lot of collateral.
9 years, and I think it's 89.
Watch him do well in 5
goals.
games. Watch him do well in 5 games. They'll go, do you know what? This is the Martial we thought we were getting.
He's stealing a living at United arguably the biggest club in the world. You've been there for 9 years, and that's your return. Why are you still at the club?
We only just got rid of Phil Jones and we re-signed Johnny Evans.
That's
what Man United done.
That's
what Man United done. Do you see what I'm saying?
But the thing is,
when's Phil Jones going to go? When's he going to go retirement? Give him $100,000 a week. Give him a new contract. He never plays. Less time for Johnny Evans.
But who was Arsenal's collateral damage? Because Manchester United's collateral damage is collateral. Like, it's Sancho on 300 bags a week, who cost like what 80 million. It's Martial on 250k a week or something. It's
Casemiro on that big piece as well.
It's a lot, but to be fair, Aubameyang, Ozil had contracts torn apart. Pepe 72 million.
Then you get Ollie doing his first interview.
A lot of money.
Ollie does his first interview since he left Man United because the NDAs ran out. And says, oh, yeah, we got Sancho, but we realised we bought him for the right, but he predominantly wanted to play on the left. Where we got Starboy Marcus Rashford. What was the planning?
Yeah.
What's the plan? And you chased that guy for 2 years. Anyway,
80 mil.
We have to move on because otherwise this will become the whole Man. This will become United View, and I don't want that to happen to you guys. Subscribe to United View for that.
Pick up United View.
Let's get on to Fulham versus Manchester United. That is on Opta. We're not going to do the preview for the game. That's coming in a bit. But in terms of who you've picked to be your player of the game, who I already want to change, what mine is. But we'll start from left to right as you guys are looking at it at home.
Yeah.
Matisse, who did you go for in that?
I went with Bruno Fernandes because this is exactly the type of game where he'll probably put on a show and actually play and maybe score.
But you picked that before last night, have you?
Yeah, I've picked it because this is typical Bruno. Yeah.
Oh, you picked it
against proper teams? No. Against Man City, I knew 100% this guy's not going to turn up. He's not going to play well. He's not going to bring anything. Against Fulham have not been great this season. They're struggling for goals. I don't think Jimenez has scored still to this point in the season. Fulham, you should be able to play a bit better than you have been. I'm not saying you're going to blow them away, but I think Bruno wouldn't be surprised if he gets a little goal, a little win or something like that in that kind of game.
I went Andres Pereira.
Nice pick.
Against his old
Man United
club,
legend.
Plays in the 10.
Nice.
Man United legend.
I'd have him back in a heartbeat, mate.
He probably would get into that midfield.
Yeah, he would now, lads. Definitely would.
100%.
He actually would.
I just think,
Not joking.
Fulham are at home. I just think, in front of his home crowd, with his new team. I know he joined last season, but especially the way Man United's midfield is functioning, I think he'll be fancying it and he'll want to prove a point. I've gone with Pereira.
Who did you go with?
I went Polinia because I think he's by far Fulham's best player. Whether or not he wants to be there, I think is a different thing. I still think we might see him move in Jan, but for me, he's the one that can change any type of game. And if he's not the only good thing, because that's really harsh on Fulham, but I just think they have looked pretty impotent up front this season. Obviously, we played them a few weeks ago. They were really poor against Chelsea when they just gifted you 2 goals. But he's the only one I think that can make a little spark, a little bit of quality, similar to Pereira as well. But I think he's also the one that can put the ball in the back of the net. So I've gone with him.
AGT/Doyle lad.
I'm going for Paulinho himself. He scored a few goals recently and he does want to move. You can tell he does, and he's the best player in there by a mile. He's going to play his socks off for the rest of the season so he can get that move.
I think he might go in Jan.
How many goals has he got now? 3 already.
Yeah, great goal against Brighton.
Yeah, and he's scoring good goals. I think he'll turn up and frustrate Bruno Fernandes like mad, and that'll be the downfall of United because you won't be able to create them chances through him.
Yeah, I agree. I want to change mine. I put Højlund because I just thought it might just be a game where he finally gets a goal.
Yeah,
I think you've got to be patient.
But definitely, I'm not.
I actually rate.
He's a good lad. He's a good footballer.
I like him, but just we don't create enough and we're shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, maybe the kid can get a chance to score.
If you lose,
you should have scored against Sheffield. No.
How many more?
Maybe back-to-back against Fulham and Copenhagen.
Wait to the Chelsea game. We need...
No. New manager bounce by that.
No, please.
New manager bounce.
We need.
So you want a United win this weekend?
To be fair, if they haven't won a game by the time they face you, that could be our
team of false starts. Yours, lad.
El Sakiko. Yeah. That's the game.
There's a lot of super chats. I'm going to fly through them. Jamon says, big up James on the weekend preview. James and Matisse going to run back the talking tactics. I'm going to run that back one day.
Run it back.
Todd Miller says, will the Don ever create the Bigger Fish to Fry channel? A channel where Robbie is cooking while Arsenal are getting cooked in a domestic cup. James has got to front that up as Robbie didn't want to
I feel
today.
bad for you.
I know. Calesto says, where is the fake stats guy? And they haven't shown up today. Augustus says, why is Abby chatting rubbish? Her side went out. at the first hurdle.
Yeah, I mean,
And they're
big
better
fish to
for
fry.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Better for it.
Literally.
I can't even laugh at that anymore like I did at the time.
FA Cup come soon.
Yuvindra said, yeah, Flex, I hope you remember the wager with AGT about Hoyland scoring more than Darwin. Easy money for AGT.
That was easy money.
DR had a little something to do with
bad
that.
move.
Easy,
Yeah,
baby.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to front up for that one.
How much was that bet?
Was it £10? Or was it
Oh,
10, is that it?
I can't
Matisse
remember.
is close to
It was one of the
150.
ones we didn't have. So I have to get someone on DAR to remind us what that was actually and how much.
should have
I'll
done
probably
a tenner
sign
as
myself
well.
up to big P's as well,
Yeah.
without even realising.
Probably
You ain't going to see
10
me for a
grand.
bit.
That
Exactly.
10 grand bet.
That was wild, I'm not
That
going
was
to lie.
wild.
Yeah.
Wanted to just
He would have,
get deported. Jurassic says, no matter how much rivals try to force it, I'll never care about the League Cup. Premier League, Champions League and FA Cup are the only ones I want. Scrap the Cara Bobbins.
Never.
Don't know who they support, but might
Definitely
I
United.
don't think you should
matter.
ever,
Yeah.
ever do that as a club.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
Frankie Firsthand says, in Rashford's book, I am the real king of England. He describes himself as a fusion of Neymar and Robin Hood. Do you agree with this, Flex? I don't know how Rashford describes himself. I just know that he's playing shit and there's a lot of hype. That's all I know. I don't know how he describes himself, but I hear where you're going with that. And Maka says, this is why us United fans want the Glazers out. It's a cycle of manager, 18 months, then bounce. Still have players who got multiple managers sacked. You have to go above to sort this constant issue
Yes,
out. Which
agreed.
ultimately...
We
that
could
is
we
true.
could literally spend hours talking about
Exactly.
United.
We got to move on. Let's go to your team.
Why? What happened?
Because the mighty Arsenal,
mighty
the magnificent Arteta.
Got bent over, didn't you? Sorry, I just did.
Abby, what happened? Arsenal.
I was
Lego Man free.
I was flicking between the two of the games. It was a lovely evening, really nice watching. To be fair,
Couldn't have gone out for dinner.
You made some changes, didn't you? Pretty wholesale ones. I mean, your midfield was Jorginho, Vieira, and Havertz. Yeah.
Honestly, he threw the game with
Might
that.
as well just not have a midfield, really.
That's their depth, bro. Honestly, this is the reason why I don't think Arsenal can win these trophies, because yes, you're increasing your depth and it's getting better, but you should be beating a West Ham in the Carabao Cup
Why
with
did I
your
say
B
yes to the
team.
show? Why
You-
did
I don't know, you know. I think we need to.
You're being C team,
You know,
right?
I'm gonna stick up for Arsenal.
They
But I think
got-
we
they got
got to
to rotate
respect. I think
sometimes,
we got to
don't they?
respect West Ham a little bit, because
I
you look
agree
at
with
West
West
Ham's
Ham.
team, right? It was Kudus, it was Paqueta, it was Ben Rama, it was Bowen. That's a very strong front
all
four.
World class player.
And then it was Suchek. It was Suchek and Alvarez.
They're supposed to win the league.
I hear
and
that,
West Ham
but-
finished 17th last
you
season.
can't blame
Their
them,
B
that
team and C team should be adequate
But this-
enough to beat
Absolutely.
anybody
Arsenal at
outside
that
the
level,
top
It's
six.
not. It's not.
Exactly.
And this is why, when they were putting themselves in conversation with Liverpool last season, taking City toe to toe, I said, no, slow your roll, because Liverpool are chasing a quadruple, and Liverpool actually have gone on all four fronts. They
Yeah.
haven't been knocked out of the FA Cup to City. They haven't been knocked out of the Europa League to Sport in Lisbon. And then, so this is a different ball game that we're talking about. This Arsenal team, that first 11 can
It's
beat
brilliant.
anybody.
Yeah,
Then there's like 2 or 3 after that, Trossard, that can come in. But when you start to get to the Havertz, Vieira,
Havertz, they signed
Nelson,
Havertz.
Jorginho.
How much pay for Havertz?
that was a bad
60?
move.
Free
It's a bad
transfer, I
signing.
think.
60 million pounds
I
for
feel we
Kai
should let James
Havertz.
come in here. I feel like
Bad move.
And before anyone says it, I know we paid 60 million for Richarlison. I fully hold it. But you also paid 60 million
I
pounds for
forgot
Kai
about
Havertz.
40 million for Brendan Johnson, 100 million.
Okay.
Let's not start.
James, talk to us.
Where do we want? I mean, there's the match and how we played, or the wider picture of it. Because here's my thing. Yeah, I actually don't have a problem with Arteta rotating. I understand that there's a lot of football to be played. You got to use your squad. I think what we've got is a lot of players that you can bring 1 or 2 of them into the starting 11 and maintain a certain level. Trossard can come in for most players, and you're all right. Dare I say, I don't rate Havertz at all. But if you put him in around the other 10, I don't think the level drops massively.
If he plays with all the other good players.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, listen, we don't look fluid. He doesn't
yeah.
do anything. He doesn't, he doesn't do anything, but like whatever.
Yeah.
The problem is when you bring a lot of these players, and the thing was, if you actually look at our back five, we were Saliba away from it being our back five from last season. Ramsdale in goal, and then the back four was the same. It was just Kivior coming in for Saliba. So I think the biggest issue with yesterday was you can rotate, but that doesn't mean I don't expect the players that come in to be
step up.
better. They were crap. And the thing is, the first 45 minutes, if I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, I like to say that a lot because I like to look for positives. I actually think, West Ham led through an own goal. They didn't have a shot in that first half. Yeah. So actually, for a second team out there, let's respect West Ham. They've got good players. Like,
do.
Paqueta cost 50-something million. Kudus around 30 to 40. They've got good players out there. So to go out there, have most of the ball, limit them to no shots and a half. That's all right. It's okay. But you can see the own goal, and then the second half, I don't know what Arteta must have said to them, or credit to Moyes, whatever he said to them. They came out, Bowen forced a good save from Ramsdale, and then they peppered us. It could have been 4 or 5, the way we were playing that second half. He tried to salvage it, Arteta. I think that was more one for the cameras. Like, let me show the Arsenal fans I'm trying to rescue this, because I don't think he ever believed we genuinely could. We never looked like scoring really in that game.
I think he threw it.
Well,
I think he honestly threw the game.
No, you can't say he threw the game.
I think he
by
did.
bringing on his B team. That's not. That,
No, but
do that,
it's not the fact that he played his B team. It's the midfield composition that he put out there. That was always going to get
You're telling me he
absolutely
purposely lost that game?
With
Jorginho, I'm going to go out. I'm going to pick these players to lose this game.
With Jorginho, Vieira, and Havertz away from home to West Ham, who are a physical team,
Bro,
you are throwing the game.
No,
I am not convinced that he. Yeah, he did.
He did
to win leagues and to win Champions League.
Well,
he
listen,
didn't do it.
Do you know what those 3 players are?
Just throw the Carabao Cup away.
Do you know what those 3 players are?
So that's the second thing.
Those 3 players are very Arsene Wenger, Emirates era. That's what those 3 players are. Tippy tappy, nice light work,
but he bought them.
Lightweight
but
type
he
players.
Them and played them.
Yeah.
So he expected them to put in performance in and win the game.
He knew.
Do you think a manager puts players out to lose games?
I don't think he threw it. I think he has too much faith in those players.
Yeah.
I think he rates Jorginho, but the reality is Jorginho needs legs around him. I think he rates Vieira, because Vieira's kind of done all right this season when he has been called upon. And Havertz, he's signed 65 million, so I think whether he rates him or not, he's got to convince himself.
Yeah, that he's exactly.
Because he spent the money on him. The biggest issue here is this apathy towards going out the Carabao Cup. This idea that we've won 4 FA Cups in 20 years, but because we challenged for the title last year, it's okay to fall out this competition.
Yeah, I agree.
It is not.
Yeah.
And again, that doesn't mean Arteta should have gone full strength, best 11, and taken to them when we've got Newcastle on the weekend. I understand that. I also understand that there is a squad that you've got to try and play them into form, because to a degree,
you're going to need
if they're
them.
called upon, they've got to have played some football. But my word, I can expect that 11 that went out there to show us a little bit more. Let's call it Trossard didn't do enough. Hat-trick Eddie, who scored against the worst team in the league on the weekend, and everyone was like, oh, look, Eddie doing a job. He silenced you lot. We didn't do anything last night.
Missed a big chance as well. Missed a big chance.
Right, Gabriel, who I love massively, looked a bit lost without Saliba, though Kivior did fine. Ramsdale, this big Raya Ramsdale debate. Oh my God, it's a disgrace what's happened to Ramsdale. Sure, it might be harsh, but he didn't cover himself in glory last night. He looked appalling. Zinchenko did nothing. There were too many players out there. Reece Nelson was the only one who looked like he was trying to. Kivior did okay. That's about it. I was praising Havertz for looking like his intensity levels went up from first gear to second. That's kind of it.
That's the perfect analysis. It really is. It just wasn't good enough. And if you ask Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp, should we go out to the Carabao Cup? No, you shouldn't, because that's your first trophy. That's your first chance to get something in there.
Klopp's throwing Carabao Cup games.
He takes it seriously now, and you can tell he does, lad.
He used to throw them.
All right, ask Pep. Pep understands that that's about mentality.
Yeah.
You get through that cup, you win that first, that kicks you on to believe that you can win more. It's important.
Totally agree with you.
Fans, I just don't know why. People keep telling me, but would you rather top 4 or the Carabao Cup?
Why'd you have to pick?
What?
What's the
Why
point?
do you have
What's
to
the point
pick?
in picking? Can you not win
Swansea
2 trophies in one season?
2013 are the last team to have won that cup and not got in the top 4.
Yeah.
Where does this great trade-off come? Who's winning and lifting that Carabao Cup going, God, it's a shame it's Europa League.
Even we didn't do that.
Yeah, it's
No
true.
one else
Even you
did.
qualified for the
Even
Champions
we
League
did.
last year.
I don't get where this hatred for the
crazy
Carabao
to
Cup comes
me.
from. It is classed as a major domestic trophy. And they say it's a major
It's done and
domestic
It counts.
dusted.
Everything's
It's done and
fantastic
dusted.
trophy.
On a domestic trophy, you only have the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So someone has to win both of them. And
It
I
is done
totally
and
agree with
dusted before the
Doyle.
run-in, Abby. It's done and
it
dusted
is.
before the April-May
Yeah,
run-in.
yeah.
It's done before
Why
all of it.
are we stressed about this whole, would you rather top 4?
Ask Pep.
Who is making
it
this
4
deal?
times out of 5 in a row?
Yeah,
Winning
no,
four.
I would
It's
have
important to him.
loved us to be in it.
It's
I
very
would have,
important.
and we should have been in it. We
Okay,
should have.
let's jump to let's get to the game though, for the next game for Arsenal.
Yeah.
That is on Opta. Who have you? Let's see who we've gone for as well in terms of the man of the match.
This is going to be.
It's a big game.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'll
for this
tell you
one.
now. I've done my scouting analysis on Newcastle. Here's my report back to you.
Oh, here we go.
They're well rested. A lot of their main players had a lot of.
They've got a lot of injuries,
time out.
though.
They've
So
got a lot of injuries in
lot.
general.
You don't think Dummett and Kraft has played
Dummett and
made
Kraft.
their way into the
No,
weekend's
it will
11?
be Lascelles and Shah again.
Fair enough.
Kieran Trippier will come back
Yeah.
into the side,
Fair enough.
and so will Dan Burn, and so will Bruno Guimaraes, and so will Amron
Callum
came off the
Wilson.
bench. Callum Wilson, yeah. These guys came on for a little bit of fitness.
decent players,
Open up the lungs against United. Get ready for you guys. So be
well,
ready.
thanks.
Be ready. Anthony Gordon up front, dominating.
Nice.
Matt Ritchie played.
Matt Ritchie,
Didn't
right.
know,
Matt
I didn't,
Ritchie played,
I didn't know he still played
he
for them.
started,
and that was prime Matt Ritchie. That was like Bournemouth Matt Ritchie. That was wicked.
when he scored them
played-
volleys and that.
Yeah.
like,
They chuck Gordon up front just to make the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanna just
Lewis
play
Hall,
up front.
Livramento back to the bench,
Yeah.
and then they'll be back to full.
Lewis
strength.
Hall scored a wonderful
Well, thank you
goal.
for knocking their confidence ahead of the big game.
Yeah,
I appreciate
exactly.
it.
So be ready. Matisse, who have you gone for in your Opta man of the match?
For that game, I believe I went for... Which game is this for?
Arsenal v Newcastle, lads.
Newcastle.
The one we've just
Oh,
been
sorry.
talking
Yeah,
about.
Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson. I think he's a very clinical finisher. And if it wasn't for injury issues, not only would he be, I think, in that England squad more often, but I think also he probably would have joined... I know Newcastle obviously are now up there, but I think he would have been one of the top
be the
teams.
main man
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, I think so.
He's a
Yeah.
phenomenal
He's
player.
just
Brilliant.
his box movement. I really appreciate it now, having seen Jackson last night, who's not getting on the end of things. Callum Wilson's box movement is just ridiculous. This guy is always in the right place at the right time. So
Correct, yeah.
I don't know. I think Newcastle will probably be a draw, but I think Callum Wilson will get a goal or two.
Okay. James, who did you go for from the mighty Arsenal?
I'm backing one of my own. I'm going Declan Rice. He has been one of the best players in every game we've played. He's been one of our standouts. But I think the big thing, if you're looking statistically, in terms of Opta and everything as well, wherever he plays with, he has to carry someone. So if he's playing as a 6, he's got to carry Havertz or Vieira next to him. Yeah. If he starts as the 8 box to box, which is what I want to see, he's got to carry probably Jorginho. I'd get an El Neni because he's got legs. I don't care if he's not playing ages.
Oh, really?
At least he can run around. So whatever he does, he's going to have to either support the 8, try get on the ball and play, or he's going to have to drop back and protect a 6 that isn't going to be able to get around the pitch, that might get overrun. So I think he's going to rack up the numbers statistically, but also he's fancied the big games. Even when it's Goodison Park away, where you think you can get maybe a little bit complacent, he stepped up in that big game, Palace, United, City. And then when we're losing at Stamford Bridge and doing nothing, he stepped up with a big goal.
Did you say Goodison away, big game then?
We lose that.
It is
every
a
year.
tough game.
To me, when I heard that, I was like, what?
For you, it's
What,
not.
buddy?
I know you lot batter him every year. For us,
Not playground,
was
that,
something.
Abby, who did you go for?
I went with Kieran Trippier actually because
Abby?
Stop it!
Just picking all my players.
I went with Kieran Trippier because I think he is so incredibly influential to that Newcastle side. Obviously, he wasn't playing last night. Came on for a little bit, didn't he? But I think he is the key to all of it. Just whether it's a set piece situation, he can always help out with a free kick or getting balls into the box. But his work rate is unbelievable. He is brilliant in terms of leading that back line as well. And I saw Jamal Lascelles obviously play as well when I went up there for the PSG game.
Boss.
And he had a great re-entry into the side, considering he hasn't really played much. He's brilliant, and I think that back line with Trippier at the end of it, really, really well done. So in terms of all of them, they just lead that line so well. Yeah. So I'm looking at him, and I think obviously with the amount that Arsenal will attack, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, everything I can do, I think Kieran Trippier will be a standout for me.
Do you basically just echo that?
Yeah, I think he's basically one of the only players on that pitch that's actually been in pressure moments and won things. He's won the title with that
Get
Atletico
you over
Madrid,
the line.
and so he understands what it is to manage these type of games and to come against teams that are probably better than his. And so yeah, I think he'll manage the game well. He's got one of the best deliveries in the Premier League. He'll do something. Definitely will, lad.
Okay, I went with Gabriel Martinelli. I feel like Arsenal are going to have to suffer. I feel it would be kind of how it was last year, where you looked at that game, it's like, how did Newcastle either not win or score early? I mean, Jacob Murphy hit the post after 4 seconds. Second half, they conceded a stupid goal, but then they hit the post. They did, that was a tough game, but you came out. I think it'd be similar to this, and I think Martinelli's going to have something to say on that, especially in transition. I think he'd be absolutely at it, and it'll be against Kieran Trippier.
Do love Martinelli. Do love that kid, really do.
Yeah,
I love him, lad.
He's so refreshing.
Really, I think he's brilliant.
He's such a Liverpool player, isn't he?
I love him, lad. I really. And even as a freestyler as well, lad. Just the way he plays the ball, and there's a way, isn't he? There's always a way. Yeah, he's got the way.
When he played against Man United, and then Wan-Bissaka actually did okay.
Yeah,
to
he
be
did
fair.
do well.
But I was like, What a winger. Like, get change out of the fullback every time you get it. Either get a throw in, get a corner, or keep the ball, or get a shot, or like, just don't lose it and the play breaks down.
He's non-stop.
Engages.
Yeah, he's non-stop.
He's got an outstanding mentality as well. Like, he came on against City, back from injury, and he just had a point to prove. And I think he's one of those players, I don't think we'll lose on the weekend, look, we easily could, but I think we'll get some sort of response, and it's because of trust in players like Martinelli and Declan Rice.
Yeah.
So hopefully they help us.
Big players to turn up. Okay, that's our picks for that game. Let us know who you guys pick for the man of the match. I'll get into the super chats in a little while. We're going to do the rest of the 3 p.m. kickoffs that are on Opta. Let's go to Burnley Crystal Palace. We'll just do the picks on this. We'll start from this side. Dory, who are you going for?
Who can I pick out? I don't even know, lads. Who's going to stand out in the Burnley Crystal Palace right now?
Yeah, we'll give Dory a little bit of thinking time.
He's not really.
No,
he's injured as well.
He's not there, lads. To turn it on. Elise's not there, lads. They haven't really been kicking on and doing anything. Mateta. Let's give it to him, lad.
If he
wow.
starts.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Honestly, I can't pick any. Do you know what I'll say? Do you know what I'll say? Anderson.
That's who I've got. That's who I've got.
Anderson. He'll do well against the Burnley side that are struggling to score goals. He'll have a strong back line with him. Yeah.
That's what I've got.
Anderson, I'll say.
Okay, Abby.
I went a bit rogue on this. I backed Burnley, even though they have been so poor. I went with Koleosho because he's been the only player for me in that Burnley side that has been impressive. I think that in terms of getting things in the box, he's doing everything, but there's just no one there to finish it. So I can't really fault him this season. I think he's been really, really good every time I've seen him. And I think Palace were all right against Spurs. You know, I think we helped them because we sat back quite a lot. In this game, these are the games Burnley need to go and try and win. They're at home, so I think they're going to be a bit more front-footed. So I've backed him on that. I've gone a bit rogue. Also, there's so many injuries at Palace as well that I felt that it's going to be someone that's a bit more tricky up front. Yeah.
Well, some of the Opta stats, some of the trending players. We've got Edison, who's been picking up 76.3. Richarlison trending for the wrong reasons. 38.8. Remember, 6 was the average, and he's at a 38.
He does a lot of hard work.
I know, but this is weird. I mean, well, to be fair, his current is 35.5. James Maddison. Which is weird, but the last 6 he's got basically.
As I said on Monday's show, it was rude of Opta. I know we're working together, but it was rude. Don't ever let me see you do that again to James Maddison. Okay?
That is weird. But look at Son, current 87.5. So Son, the pick of the bunch if you're looking at Spurs. Rodri from City, 83.1. So an average, basically like an 8 out of 10 every week. And Brennan Johnson's racking up a 67.7 as well. God. Yeah, Isak's injured at the minute, about 58.2 as well. So also when you're in Opta Max as well, you can get involved with their stats. They give you who the trending players are, give you a few tips, try and get you to pick the right players. Just to keep it moving really quickly, I went with Jordan Ayew for this game. I think
it's really got his like one goal season.
Yeah, he did. But when there's not much quality about the place, there's no Eze, there's no Elise, Mateta's rubbish. Let's be honest. Edouard's all right, but if the centre backs aren't going to do something with Mark Gay and Anderson, it's like Tariq Mitchell's not going to have an absolute stormer. I can't see that. Neither is Joel Ward or something.
Well, at least Ayew will play.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to play 90 minutes. And he's, sometimes he can have a little.
Remember the goal? Was it against Hughes that he scored the roulette and then dinked it over the keeper?
No, that wasn't us, but that was near the end of the game.
That was an amazing beautiful, goal lad.
And he scored a great goal against them. Even though it might be it was a great finish.
It was great.
He just sometimes just does that. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think there's going to be a lot of quality in this game. James, who you got?
I went with Gehi.
Yeah,
nice.
Okay. Good form.
Who are you going with?
Anderson, I think he could maybe get a goal from a set piece.
Yeah, okay. Another game on Opta, Sheffield United, Wolves. Let's see who you've gone with. Matisse.
Hee-chan.
Yeah.
Really impressive in this season. Really impressed. I think obviously there's a lot of attention on Neto. But I think Hee-chan as well has been he's injured. So
otherwise
I think he'll be the next one to step up is Hee-chan. I've been very impressed with him. So I think he could do well. And Sheffield United, they'll definitely concede, I think.
You reckon?
I think so.
You think so?
Just got a feeling in my gut that they're going to concede this weekend. So I've gone with an attack.
I think we all go full house.
James?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Great goal against Newcastle.
Brilliant, lads.
Brilliant.
Same.
Wow.
Full house.
Wow.
Full house.
Nobody wanted Acuna, no? No one wanted Acuna?
No. It was a shout. I looked at it, but
no.
I quite like that Gomez in midfield for Wolves, the young player they signed not long ago. But
he looks all right, doesn't he? And the last one, Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. Obviously, Forest getting done quite comfortably. against you guys. Who have you gone for? Villa flying at the minute.
I've gone with Diaby.
Nice.
Same.
Brilliant.
Pace.
How boss of Villa.
Pace. And the thing is,
very good, isn't he?
he links up with Watkins so well on that side as well. So for me, I couldn't. It was always.
Anthony, come on, how
But if they
greedy
came
are
to,
you?
but if they came to yours, if they came to United, they wouldn't play like that.
No, they wouldn't.
So,
They wouldn't
there's no
play like
point.
that. But yeah, you got Anthony, you'll be fine.
Respect your
Yeah,
balls.
and do you know what's so mad about him? He's left Leverkusen in the year where they're top of the league with Xabi Alonso and absolutely smashing it.
Yeah.
So
You want-
if he had been there with that team,
How good they'd have
Hold
been.
on.
huh?
He's having a moment here.
What's he having?
You're going to cry?
You want,
No, of course not.
you're saying Unai Emery like you're
You want Unai
about
Emery?
to
I like Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery's a good manager.
Wow, I wasn't
I'm saying.
expecting that.
All I'm saying is Unai Emery.
I don't reckon you get him. I don't think you get him.
And if he was to become available, would you be
Do you
interested?
know what?
If
do
he
you-
was available.
Yeah.
What? And so what? My manager's unavailable. As in, I don't have a manager.
Do you know what? Do you know what would be the most?
If I was single.
loses job, and you find out that United picked up the phone to Unai Emery.
No, Antonio Conte.
Are you mad?
I
so
can
stupid.
see it.
No,
He was meant to go to you
No,
instead
that would
of
be
us.
wild.
It
I'm
was,
just
it's
saying,
well
If they
known.
did that, I know that
I
Man
like
United
Unai
are.
Emery. That's all I'm saying. I like
Conte
Potter?
incoming.
I would love that. Conte with,
Unai Emery
with Sancho.
would not work.
Conte and Sancho would be-
incoming.
Nobody, and that's why you need a Conte lad. He'll come in, stir up a load of madness, lad, and then go, this is
it's not-
crap.
but you know
Change
what,
it
it's
all.
not-
And, do you know what I'm
Deserve
really a
it.
fan of?
Deserve
Conte's
it.
recruitment as well.
Yeah, he's boss.
That
knows who
right
he
there
wants.
is perfect.
Look how he
No way.
criticises players. He'd be out of job in two. Like
You'll have Ashley Young back at the club.
Mate, bring him back.
Player manager.
Bring him back. Who did you go for?
I went for Ollie Watkins
Yeah.
because I was leaning towards Diaby. Same reason, kind of you said, the link-up play. I just chose to go with Ollie Watkins this week.
I am doing John McGinn because I bloody love the kid. Honestly,
So
that
big.
that lad is a
McGinn.
football player. Do you know, like one of them kids that's just a centre mid and you can tell he scans every 2
Proper
seconds.
centre
Yeah,
mid,
I love the kid. Gets stuck in, great shot on
runs
him,
like a
great
rugby
delivery.
player.
Yeah.
Brilliant lad, yeah. And also, he just looks like he's a nice fella to be around.
Yeah.
He looks like you'd have a laugh with him, lad. You know what I mean? So John McGinn,
Proper
lad.
pro. Proper pro.
I'd love him at Liverpool, lad. He'd be great at Liverpool.
Yeah, he
Love
could
him.
be your Jordan Henderson.
Yeah,
Better.
but well
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I also went John McGinn.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you think statistically, he does everything. He's got to play wide. He's got to create. He gets goals sometimes. He gets stuck in because they play
Leadership
really narrow
as well,
midfield.
lad.
So he gets
What's
stuck
some of
in.
the stats you got there on John McGinn?
Well, he ranks 20th for assists in league ranking. Fair play, pretty decent. And then it's decent for successful passes, good for passes per game, getting some goals as well. 21st for chances created. That's what I mean. Like,
Go on, John.
Unai Emery plays quite a unique style because their wide players aren't. You were talking about loving Martinelli, but that's not what they're wide. They're meant to be like workmen, but they're also meant to support the attack. They're also meant to tuck in and make a condensed midfield. He's going to rack up numbers, McGinn. So,
Yeah, he is.
yeah.
I love watching him play.
Yeah, he is. He's high octane. And just to quickly finish off on the Opta Max, I did go with Diaby as well.
I think there's some goals in it for them.
What a
from the
team, yeah,
Skittles.
lad.
He's
They're a
just
brilliant team.
He's just brilliant. Let's move on to basically like the weekend preview now, and let's just get into the games and the predictions.
Not going to
What we
mention
think's gonna happen in the
Darwin Nunez yesterday, no?
what a goal! Great
Touch.
goal.
Hey,
Can we all just
Great
mention?
touch.
We all seen it, didn't we?
Misses the easy
That's
one.
The most Darwin Nunez thing that could possibly happen, and the reason why we absolutely adore him. Nice simple touch on his left foot, misses it, lad. but yeah,
Open
doesn't
goal.
give up, lad. Gets jeered by the crowd. He can hear it. He's in his head. He's like, "Watch this, the firm you're watching." Yeah, takes the man on the wing, slots it top in, runs to the crowd and goes, "What, lads? You all right? Yeah, how's everyone doing?"
That miss was
and now,
shocking.
And now, it was, yeah, but we still scored from it. And
I
now
know.
he has got a goal every 55 minutes, and that's not a fake stat because I'm not AGT. That's
Mad.
They love
and now
it.
he's got a goal every 55 minutes, and yes, he misses lots of easy chances. Yes, he does, but he also scores every single game that he plays, and he's a brilliant impact player. He really is. So let's see more of him this season and kicking on, innit? I just wanted to mention him. He deserved the mention.
There's
lad.
no one like him.
Yeah, there
No,
isn't.
he's very special.
He's beautiful, lad. I love him. I proper love him.
And even when he does, if his confidence a bit low 'cause he's missing chances, he's at it. He makes run after
Yeah.
run. If he doesn't get it after the first one, makes a second
Physical
run.
presence.
He's always
Yeah.
physical. He's
Is
always,
he-
I'll
Is he a
give him
shit
that.
player with great moments or a great player with shit moments?
Oh, that's the question, innit? That is the
He's
best
still, he's
question.
still working it out.
Yeah, I can't tell you, lad.
No
Neither can
idea.
Klopp. He's
He's-
this, lad.
He
Who knows?
strikes me as someone who And I mean this in nicer ways. He strikes me as someone who's not even thinking really when he's on the pitch.
He doesn't.
Oh, shit touch. Oh, top bins.
Yeah.
Oh, missed a chance. Oh, rifle that one into the roof of the
But that's
net.
exactly.
And
What am I like?
Like, that's the point.
Yeah, he just strikes me as like, I missed again.
Yeah.
You see, I just missed again. Oh,
Doesn't bother him at all, does it? He missed an open goal the other
That's
day.
his strength.
Yeah,
That's
honestly.
literally that's his strength. That's why he's so good, because he makes them
He's not
mistakes
in
and
his head, is
he doesn't feel depressed about it or feel like he's a crap player. He's like, I missed that, and I know I can score that. I'm actually boss. Look how fast I can run. So you know what I mean?
I'm actually boss.
So like he just
Imagine
keeps on
Darwin Nunez
going.
sitting there going, I'm boss.
God loves a trier. What's the saying? Like, God loves a trier, and Darwin Nunez is a trier, lad, and we love him for it.
He's
He
a
is,
try,
he
yeah.
is. Let's get into the super chats before we carry on. Ricky says, Arsenal fan here. James, I'm going to read this like with a nice, placid voice. James and Doyle are the nicest and sweetest people all across YouTube media.
are.
Big up both. And Doyle, I'm fearing Liverpool more than Manchester City.
Oh wow!
That is from an
That's a big compliment. I thank you very much. I appreciate the nice
You
words,
two
but
are lovely.
thank you very much.
Sweet.
Branula says, congrats United fans. The cycle continues. It does. Adam says, I'm going to read that one. Jamon says, you guys have Kirkland Water in England. Yeah, I've got Costco too. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
We've
we do.
also
That's where it
got
comes from.
running water, electricity, cars.
It's quite nice.
NHS.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure that's all good. Yeah, Ricky says, Abby, we paid 65 going to 70 for Kai Havertz. We beat Spurs again.
When?
Yeah, support. Richarlison was still great at Everton. Havertz was a certified proven dud at Chelsea.
That, you know what? That is true.
I've got a
Like,
question
we
about
had
Richarlison.
evidence.
Right,
Yeah, there was
You did.
One question about Richarlison, because I think it would be perfect. If Fulham come in for him, because Andre Silva loves that man, yeah? If they come in for him and bid 60 million, would you sell him? Because
Yes.
I think
60?
it'd be perfect, yeah?
Richarlison.
I think it'd be
60 million?
I'll
Yo,
drop
half that to 30.
Whatever it may be, yeah, let's say 30, yeah?
Do I
But-
sell him or does the
30?
board sell him?
Yeah, would you sell him?
Would I personally?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think the board would? Because I
No.
think he'd be perfect fit for Fulham.
The
They're
board
missing
will not sell
that.
him
They're missing
for
that
30
star man. They're missing
Yeah.
that dogged striker,
I
which
agree,
Mitrovic
yeah.
was.
Absolutely.
He
Great shout.
would be
That's a great
perfect
shout.
there. I
Yeah,
really
he
do
would-
think it.
But I think Richarlison would think he's too big for that.
He can't because he's playing crap.
Yeah, I know,
Don't
but I
put-
just
like,
think
bro,
He leads the line for Brazil, and then you lead the
Yeah.
line for Fulham.
There's
It's a
no
little
way.
bit.
I like a lot about Richarlison. I
confusing,
do.
but
There's
he
a
did
lot
the
I
same
like
for
about him.
Yeah.
There is, but I don't think it's working at Spurs.
Yeah.
So why not go back to your old blueprints, which is being a star man, being that dogged striker.
I agree.
And
It'd
for
be
your
a great
favourite
fit.
manager as well, Andre Silva, who loves you and plays to your strengths.
Yeah.
But
I think it'd be
it's-
great.
There's no way that we would sell him for 30 million.
I think you should. I think.
There's
I'm
no way
not
Fulham
against
are bid.
it.
There's no way
Put it
Fulham
this
are bidding
way, we
60.
paid 60 million for Ndombele, who has been so bad. He's eating burgers in
Oh, just don't let him
Galatasaray. He's
go.
not even. He can't even.
Yeah.
He's literally
Oh, he
been
couldn't
caught with
move in.
burgers in
When we played
Galatasaray.
Galatasaray, I saw him in the warm-up. I was like,
He's mad. He can't move.
That was
The guy can't move. And yet
But
he's-
he
he's
can do
still
kick-ups
on
in the
our
dressing room.
books.
Yeah,
He's
he is
still
good
on
at
our
that.
books.
He can do kick-ups in the
Going
dressing
around
room
the
pre-season.
Did
And
you
it was
see
like,
that
oh, he's
story
back!
about the,
Wow.
They found him with loads of burgers and stuff.
And
Like,
Ndombele and Basuma is going to be an incredible partnership this season.
He's the most
Look at the way they're
frustrating player
connected.
because technically he is so good. He's so gifted, but he just he likes his food.
application. Christian Lopez,
Hazard
super
likes his
chat,
burgers as well,
says Santi Jimenez to Chelsea? Question mark.
Who?
Santi Jimenez.
Nah, it's about time Chelsea spend some money yet.
Really tight.
Yes, I've
Yeah,
heard.
bring in another striker. They've, Jackson's had plenty of time.
And you got a kid called DC Washington.
David.
Yes, we do.
Called Washington DC.
He's not gonna.
Got a kid.
He didn't get any game time against Blackburn, so he's not. He's gonna go out on loan, I think. But he,
Got game
Where's
time against
Burgess? Is he
Brentford.
injured?
Burgess is
Yeah.
injured as well. I think we will be looking at a striker. I've not
got a feel
watched.
for them.
I've not watched much of Jimenez, but yeah, I've seen
links are there.
I've seen incredible, goals per minute ratios and whatnot, but I've not watched him, so I don't know. If
Brooklyn
he's-
Gooner, thanks for the super chat. Last one before we move on, says a wise man once said, "We got bigger fish to fry." That's from Brooklyn Gooner. On to the
Wise
next.
man's my boss, so I can't say a lot.
But
Just watch the watch along. Me and him will have a back and forth over this.
I called him Baldingham yesterday.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, no.
Brentford versus West Ham. Doyle, how's that going to go?
It's going to be a good game. Brentford have found a little bit of form. West Ham.
Big win against Chelsea at the Bridge, or
Big win.
or
Is it that-
just normal.
is it that
according to
big
Thomas
though?
Frank.
They keep beating them at
Just normal, yeah.
Stamford Bridge.
Three
like
wins
West
in a
Ham.
row.
Is it really that
Yeah.
big?
Who's going to answer that, lads?
You?
No, what?
You said he's going to answer that.
No, who's going to answer that? Scouse language sometimes
Whose
can't
grounds?
understand me, lads. You know what I'm saying?
Who's ground?
No, the stadium.
I thought
He
you said-
spoke Scouse there, and I've heard who's going to answer that.
I heard who's putting our hands on her.
See what I have to deal with? You see what I have to
But
deal
normally
with?
I can understand Doyle perfectly.
Very straightforward
Did you hear
question.
that
Hands on
Who's
her.
playing at what ground?
Did
Okay,
you-
guys?
did you-
It's
did you hear
better.
that?
I didn't, but he wasn't talking to me, so I said,
Bloody hell,
it's not my
guys.
problem.
And this is why I made that.
Slow it down a little bit, yeah? Alright.
That's mad how we heard completely different
You're
things.
closer to me as well.
I am speaking English, guys. Okay.
It is at the G-Tech Stadium, my friend.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the Brentford Community Stadium.
Brentford
We need a proper Geordie on the show now.
I do
Yeah,
like.
I'll go.
Yeah,
Matt,
yeah,
you're renting me.
Yeah, that will-
I do like the G-Tech Stadium. I do think it's got a good little atmosphere in it.
does.
But West Ham have been kicking on, haven't they, since they've won that Europa, whatever, Conference League. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be like one of them 2-2s
Yeah.
where they both get at each other. Brentford haven't quite got that Ivan Toney deadliness anymore. West Ham have still got that like fight and that grit in them, and they believe in themselves now. We're a good team. We win cups. We can do something in this league, and I do see that in them. So I think it's going to be like a 2-2 me.
Okay, we've still got quite a few to get through, so we're quicking it up.
Matching the same.
Matching that.
Yep.
Brentford win. They don't
Yeah.
like a low block. West Ham.
Okay.
I'm going to go over 1-1. Sit on
Okay.
the fence.
Okay, cool. Let's go for Actually, no, let's go Everton-Brighton. Interesting
Everton
game,
are
that.
g-
Everton, big
nice
win
win
against West
last
Ham. No one
night.
expected
Yeah.
that. Brighton getting a draw
Away from
against Fulham.
home. as
Smoked them last
well.
season as well.
Yeah.
Like battered them last season. Everton
They
did.
owe them one.
They drew
Yeah.
on the weekend, didn't they? Brighton.
Yeah.
Asty Fatty, though.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I find it hard to not bet on Brighton. Like I find it hard, but we do know how open they are at times. But then, are Everton really going to exploit that? Probably not. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Brighton.
Okay, Doyle.
3-1 Brighton. They're going
Really?
to smoke them, lad. Brighton are going to attack.
Everton, a bit of confidence, no? Keep calm, take
No,
the
lads,
corner.
absolutely not. I mean, I like Everton and I want them to stay up. I like them in the sense I'm a Scouser.
Yeah.
I want the Scousers to
AGT
stay
doesn't
up.
agree with that, by
I
the
know
way.
he
I'm
doesn't,
gonna throw him
but
under the
like,
bus.
you know, I'm from Liverpool, lad, so I have to say
He
on
said
that.
you shouldn't
Yeah.
say that.
I get
I
that.
have to say on this,
You
lad,
get to
yeah.
say it, 100%.
And so I don't want Scousers. I want the city to be represented in the best way possibly can. So that means I want Scousers to stay
Love
up.
that.
This is why they say he's
That's
a lovely
proper
person.
Scout.
That is what we love
Not
to do.
AGT.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what we love to
the
do.
Having said
Yeah.
that, Brighton are a better team and
Okay.
by quite a mile. So 3-1.
Matisse,
I'm going to go 2-0 Brighton.
James.
3-1 Everton.
It's
Okay.
a lovely picture
Wow.
of James, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
I think Everton will cause them real problems.
Yeah.
I do. They've been creating chances this season, Everton.
What did you go for?
3-1 Everton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Everton. I'm going to
Good
go.
as well on
Huge.
that.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
2-1 though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1. I
Building
think
something.
they'll have
But
a bit
Brighton
of
can
reaction.
turn on and slap anyone. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
If they
surprised.
click
Find it
into
hard
gear.
to write them off.
Man City, Bournemouth, Matisse.
Oh, this is just routine. Absolute routine.
4?
3-0 City.
3-0.
The only reason why it's not 4 is because Haaland will get taken off in the 75th minute or something.
After scoring a hat
On the cusp of a hat-trick, no. On the cusp.
James.
Wanna
Yeah,
become the lead.
this could like actually be really ugly. City hit their best form against United. This could be 6 or 7. I'll go 6 just to be somewhat reasonable.
6.
Yeah. 4-0.
No
I've got a 5-1 in my head. So yeah, I'll go 5-1.
Doyle.
Wow.
4-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going back around the table, staying with Doyle. Sheffield United, Wolves.
Bloody hell. I'm going to give it to Wolves because they have been finding some form, and Gary O'Neill is getting stuff out of that Wolves team, and credit to him because he's showing Bournemouth how it's done. 2-1 Wolves.
3-1 Wolves.
They don't score a lot of goals. They do at Sheffield United.
I mean, anyone can really score
2-0.
against Sheffield.
2-0 Wolves.
Yeah, 2-1 Wolves.
Yeah, 2-1 as well I had. It was
Okay.
Wolves.
I know we did it a little bit earlier on, but that was more for Opta. Now we're going to talk about the game. Still kind of quickly though. Arsenal taking on Newcastle. 5:30 kickoff.
Massive.
Yeah, I could foresee 10 different scores.
Yeah.
If you told me Newcastle win 3-0, would I be overly surprised? They can overrun us in midfield. If you told us we win 2-0 and play like we did at St James's at the end of last season, yeah, we've got that in us. This Arsenal team have a good, that word, bounce back ability. I don't know if it's a word, but we use it, don't we?
Yeah.
They have been able to bounce back off bad results and actually lose to Lens, beat City, draw at Chelsea, play terribly, win in Seville. Like we have that in us. But I'm really worried about the makeup of that midfield. I want to go 2-1 Arsenal. Or did I sound forever Arsenal? I said 1-0.
No,
I said 1-0.
every time
I know.
last.
I said 1-0 last. I'll stick with that. I'm going to back them to. But listen, we could easily get over on
Yeah,
them.
it could be anything.
I'm
It
not
could
overly
actually be
convinced.
anything. Matisse.
I've gone with a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a great game though. Newcastle at home are a problem. Like
Good for the
they're
neutrals,
very. very, like, first 15 minutes, Arsenal just have to get through that, as I always say. When you go to Newcastle, with that crowd, first 15, they try and lay it on you. If you can get through that and quieten the crowd down, then...
Robbie says the atmosphere, the crowd. I've seen people say this. So what? You know what I mean? Arsenal used to playing away at Liverpool. They're used to play.
No, he said it with Dortmund. He said it with Dortmund.
Honestly.
I know, I'm but he's like, what he's saying is that the atmosphere at Newcastle, he's like, yeah, but teams are used to playing against big atmosphere.
Jorginho said after the win in April, whenever it was, he was asked about the atmosphere. He was like, yeah, but it's beautiful. Like, this is what we want to play in. I'm like, more of that, please. Like,
embrace it.
Yeah, embrace it. Be like, it's loud and we got to level up. Don't like shrivel under the pressure.
Enjoy it. This is what you were a professional footballer for, right?
A point's not a bad result, by the way. I know we've had a bad week, but a point isn't bad. And I know Tottenham will probably win. We'll get to that. But a point's fine. Long game.
Doyle.
Newcastle get up for the big games, especially when they're at home. The only falter against the teams that are below them. I think that it's going to be a 2-2 myself. I really do. I feel like it's going to be a boss game to watch.
Yeah. Part of me wants to go for a draw, but I'm not. I'm going to go for... because I'm not. Manifesting. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Newcastle win.
Couldn't even say like 1-0 or 2-1. It had to be like 3-1.
They're going to smoke.
Yeah, it had to be 3-1.
Listen, I'm just manifesting.
Okay.
Had to be 3-1.
Manifestation.
I've gone with a 2-1 Arsenal win. I think it'd be slender, tight game. Could be anything, high octane. I'm really looking forward to watching it. Actually,
what James said, it could be 10 different results. That's why we're excited
Newcastle
about
have been hit and miss this season.
Yeah, they have.
Exactly. They've got injuries. They are tiring a little bit. They've got a massive game against Dortmund straight after, because if they lose that, it's getting tough to get out of that group.
So it's got so many injuries.
Big games, you know.
They'll rest Kraft and Dummett.
Exactly. Ready for Champions League. Absolutely. On the Sunday game, we got Nottingham Forest versus Villa. Matisse.
I'm going to go with a Villa win.
Yeah.
To match my Opta. I'm going to say a 3-1 Villa win.
Yeah. James.
2-2.
Really?
Yeah, they're spirited, Forest at home.
Especially at home, innit? Yeah.
And Emery's got a slip in him. So yeah.
If they can get their home record to away record to match their home, Villa will really be on something. Yeah. What are you going with?
Yeah, I think I'm going to match James with a draw, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go draw.
1-1, 2-2, 3-3.
I will go with 1-1 on this.
Doyle?
I'm going to say a 2-1 Villa.
Okay. 2-0 Villa. I think Villa will be quite comfortable in that game. Yeah. Staying with Doyle, Luton Town against Liverpool.
Dear God.
I really wish I was going to this game. Everyone wants to go to the away game at Luton, don't they? No disrespect, Luton. We're going to smoke you. I think it's going to be about 4-0, 3-0. I'm sorry to disrespect your team. I just think, I'm sorry.
It's not disrespect.
3-4-0.
They know.
Yeah, so sorry, guys.
They're aware.
Yeah.
4.
3.
5.
When you're doing single digit, how disrespectful that is.
I think Luton will finally find the goals. Yes. There we go.
Single digit prediction.
3,
4,
5 Liverpool.
Jeez.
Don't.
I can't see.
As well.
Can't see anything different to that. Fulham, Man United, Matisse. 12:30 kickoff Saturday.
If you lot don't win this game, my God. I think Man United are going to win 2-1. I know it doesn't sound like it's possible at the moment, but you are in the Premier League where you are for a reason. You have won some games. So.
James?
Man United, they won't play well, but I'll tell you, they'll scrape the result like bastards.
The only reason why what's going to save them is Fulham are worse than them, and that's pretty much
honestly,
it.
this is what Man United do. They've not played well all season, but they scrape results for fun. They love it.
Fulham. 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
No, mate, don't apologise. You ain't heard my prediction.
Go on.
1-0 Fulham. 1-0 Fulham.
1-1.
1-1. Yeah. I think Man United can lose this game. 1-0. I think it's 3-4. I can't see how they stem the bleed. I can't see it. That would be the most Man United thing.
It would.
And if we do win, it will be uninspiring. It'll be like how we beat Sheff United. It'll be how we beat Burnley. Nothing to write home about. Obviously, Ten Hag must win.
Yep.
Like, there's no other result that it can be for him going into that Copenhagen game away, which is going to be incredibly tough as well. But I can't see it. I can't see it. I think Man United are going to lose that game. Or
Look what you've done to Flex. Look at this, man.
No, I can't see it. Can't see it, man.
I understand your pain.
Yes.
I really do. And whenever you want to apologise for your treatment of me last year, it's okay.
No, I won't apologise. I don't believe you should ask for sympathy. I can't do that.
Good lad.
You got to hold it.
You get what you deserve.
I held it.
Hold it. Yeah, exactly. So,
I held it.
Burnley, Crystal Palace, Matisse, last one.
Crystal Palace, Burnley. This has got a draw written all over it, surely. 0-0.
James?
0-0.
El Boringo.
Last on match of the day.
Do you know what? 3-2 Palace.
What?
No, actually, I said Gehi.
What did you just say that?
Goals.
What the hell?
Goals.
I said Gehi, but no, I said Gehi man of the match.
That's why I've got 0-0.
So no,
yeah.
so actually 2-0 Palace.
No shooters
Yeah,
in
I
this.
like that.
No shooters in this game.
Yeah.
whatsoever.
1-0 Burnley.
Okay.
Backing them at home. They've got to get a win at some point, and it's they've got to start picking them up.
Crystal Palace's
So you guys
their
leaving
defence.
the Tottenham Chelsea chat to Monday?
I'm going to get your predictions, but
Yeah.
we're mainly going to talk about
really?
Monday. I'm so
We've got
annoyed
big
that
old
game.
Monday.
Oh,
Ed,
really?
haven't we?
Is that what we're doing now?
Crystal Palace's
Why do it
strengths.
now?
Crystal
Another 4
Palace's
days
strengths lie in their defence. Burnley's weaknesses lie in their attack.
Yep.
1-0 to Crystal Palace.
Cool. Avram Glazer is in the chat. Says, Flex, forget the sale. The dividends are sweet. I'm not selling. Augusta says, pour one out for Sheffield United supporters. As of now, they are the only team in the Football League without a win. Might break the Derby record. People are saying Luton were going to break that record. It might actually be Sheffield United the way it's going. LJ Brown says, Coke Zero in Bremu. Tell them, get your spelling right. Bubbles, Aero, Robbie. I better know. Mate, you haven't made sense, LJ.
What is going on with
LJ
that?
comes
Is that a
through.
super chat?
LJ comes through with the super chats, and he's good. He's usually good, but he's been really anxious. He's been really excited to get it done.
Like, there's no time limit. There's no time limit.
He's
Just
missed it.
take
I hear
your
bigger fish to
time.
fry statements because he'll come
Compose yourself.
off more fake than Milli Vanilli. So you've got there near the end.
Guys,
The
take
beginning
your
bit,
time.
you lost it.
There's
You know?
no
Relax,
rush. We will
read over
them
what
out.
you've written.
Check your spelling, proofread.
Get Grammarly, everything. Just the whole
Chat
9 yards.
GPT, all
Just
of
chill.
it.
There's
Exactly.
no time limit.
But
No
we have
rush.
come to the end
Thanks
of
for
the
the
show.
Perfect. There's no time limit, but we're finishing now.
Well, on the outro, LJ, if you come through something that makes a little bit more sense, maybe we can get it in before the end of the show. Who knows? But we have come to the end of the show. Big up to Matisse, big up to James, big up to Abby, big up to Doyle.
Big up
coming
to you
through.
for driving back this morning and holding it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
fair play.
Never
Very much fair.
We'll
shirk my
give you the applause,
responsibility.
lad. We'll do it for
Whether
you.
it's 7-0, 3-0, 6, what was it?
Threes, 6 threes.
3, that was it. Yeah, 4-0
it's a good
half time,
one.
6-3. Don't matter what it is.
Maybe though, if
We'll
you
be
do wear
there.
your shirt, you might
Do you know
get some
what,
results,
Doyle?
lads.
If Man United do beat Fulham, will I be here Monday? I think I am. Yeah, I'll wear a shirt.
Okay, you heard it first. Yeah, he'll
Do
put
you
a
think
shirt on.
Manchester United will ever be great again?
Oh, that's another.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
silly
to
question.
say that for
Silly
Mondays,
questions.
that's a whole question.
Bloody
Yeah.
yes, yes, they
A
will.
lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will.
Yeah?
Yes.
Don't ask me when.
When?
Is it my lifetime? Is it
When
my
Liverpool had
kids? I don't know.
when Liverpool had Charlie Adam and Stuart Downing,
Yeah.
did everyone think Liverpool are never going to be good again?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then look what happened, lads.
Exactly.
You did. More for you.
Until they're getting.
I thought Stuart Downing must be a great sign. He was
Yeah,
brilliant.
he was a great
He was
sign.
brilliant at
I
Aston
wanted him
Villa.
as well.
What a player he was at
Came
Aston
from
Villa.
Barrow, didn't he?
Yeah.
Michael says Fulham 7-0, Newcastle 15-0, Chelsea 13-0. Guys, don't forget, this week is $6,000 up for grabs. 6,000 smackaroonies when you get involved with the Optimax and Opta5. Click the link in the video description below, or you can literally scan the QR code on screen and join the DR Sports League and compete against us here at DR and other DR Sports subscribers as well. That's the end of the show. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. And if you haven't liked the video, currently on 680 likes, at least get us to over 750 on the way out. Yeah, do that. Take care, guys. See you on the next show. Peace.